Hey, high five. You're doing great. I'm doing good. You're doing good. And good things are coming our way, aren't they? Well, I've got my humidifier here. Oh my gosh. Now, this is necessary living in a van. Well, it's necessary in a home too, but a lot of you have those great big humidifiers. It's very dry. It's a dry heat. It's very dry right now. Monsoons will be coming soon. But seriously, in this heat, because it's hot now, here's my humidifier. We'll put it right here, okay? Okay. I've got a really good show for you today. Welcome to my world. My world is in a minivan, and I've lived in a minivan for 7 years. Who am I? I'm Minivan Lee, and I've got a really good show for you. This is a Minivan Lee show. Sort of a variety show, right? That's what this is. Well, I've got a couple of questions I want to answer. One is about StarLink, you know, the Elon Musk thing, you know, StarLink, and, you know, how to set up, what it's all about. And one of you asked me about locations. Do I recommend anything, must-see places to go to, and places I would not recommend? Oh yeah, I got a couple of those, okay? So stick with me, and I got a couple other questions that I'll briefly, they're not long answers. Oh, there goes the train. Woo, woo, woo. Yeah, we don't care. Hi, bye train. Right. Okay, so listen up, man. Please subscribe. YouTube is playing games with us YouTube creators, and they keep unsubscribing people. Some of you say that every time you look, you're unsubscribed. Every time you log in. So, could you subscribe and subscribe often? Obviously, you can't just do it once, right? And I want you to watch it all the way through. Come on, man. What else you got going on? I will entertain you. I will keep you interested, okay? So don't just walk away from it halfway through. Let's watch it all the way through. Thank you so much. Yes. And what else? Oh, well, let's get going. Let's get going with these questions, okay? And information. Let's go. I have a question from June Graham. Hey, June. She says, first of all, you are my go-to video after work. All right. Thank you, June, so much. I've had a lot of you say that. You said, would like to hear about your StarLink setup. Okay. Well, I've done a couple videos on that, and I will leave the links for that. And I did make coffee. Would you like some? I'll share, okay? Or tea. Do you want it to be tea? There you go. It's tea. Cheers. Okay. StarLink. It's a good system. It works on the satellites. When it's all done, there'll be 20,000 satellites rocketed into space. That's a lot. I was kind of concerned about that because that's a lot of rocket fuel, and you know, to go up there, and then the rockets come back down, I guess, and they can reuse them. Okay, this is what I've heard. I'm not an expert on this, but I do know that there are satellites up there, and what you get is a satellite dish. Okay. And I got one that I just want it to be, it's not going to be hooked to anything. It's just free flowing, okay? And so it's like a rectangle. I'm going to leave the links to the videos. And then it hooks to a contraption, a box, right? It hooks to a box. And what happens is my phone connects to it. Okay, so it's like Bluetooth. I can connect it to it, and I can then put it all together and turn it on. But first, I have to pay. Okay, you can go month to month. I'm sure that's the way it still is. I haven't used it for a good year. And it's in storage. It's a big box. It's in storage in Tucson. Well, you can connect it with your phone, and then, but you must pay. And it's it keeps getting higher. $150 a month. Wow. Yeah, I mean, I already pay $75 for my cell coverage, but it's $150 a month, and I'm not going to need it all the time. So here's the thing. I have to pre-plan. I have to know when I need to use it, because if I cancel, then I have to wait a whole nother month before I can turn it back on again. So yeah, I don't know why it works that way. Maybe to discourage you from turning it off and pausing your account for a while. But what happens is you got the dish, and it's on a stand. You put it on a stand, and you turn it on. You got your phone, and what will happen is it will literally, the dish will go. It's looking for a satellite. It's looking for a satellite. So when it finds one, you can see it on your phone, but it will stop. And I think you can see it. I haven't used it for a year, but you can see it on the actual box that it's connected to. But here's the deal. It is great for Arizona, and I'm sure other parts of the country. But it's really good for Arizona because there's not a lot of trees that will hamper the view to the satellite. Okay, so if you're in a forest, it's not going to work, because the StarLink lets you know that said there's too much obstruction. There's too much, and it won't link to any satellite. So even if you've got a space out there, you think, oh, well, there's a big space in between these trees. I mean, a big space. No, it needs a wide area. Okay, so that's that. And I know a lot of nomads use StarLink. Oh yeah, because then you can upload videos if you're out in the middle of nowhere. But yeah, it can run expensive. So you got to have this backing you up just a little bit to do it every month. Because if you got your phones and then you're using that, that can run into maybe $300 a month just to have coverage, to talk to people and upload your videos. Now, I will mention that downloading and uploading are two different things. People say, well, I've had people say, oh, well, Lee, I've got good service. I'm streaming things. Well, that's a whole nother animal. Downloading and streaming movies is so different than uploading. When I'm uploading, I have to connect to the server, like on YouTube. I have to have a connection there so I can upload it. Let's face it, it's only one. It's a small reason, but it's one of the reasons that I love city life as a nomad. I live in my minivan. Just if you knew, I live in my minivan, and I have for 7 years, like I said in the beginning. Now, I did travel previously. I did travel quite a bit. I've been across the country 2-3 times, and I've been around, and I like to go places. I've been on the coast and spent summers there, things like that, and been up to Nevada and enjoyed it. I love seeing things, but I'm at a point right now where driving isn't that, it doesn't sound that exciting. So, but I do live in my minivan. I'm the same as anybody else. This is my home, and I look at it as my home. It's a small home. It's sort of like a pod. Do you ever hear those pods in California where those young people they got pods? That's their little space, and then they have this common area where they can come out and eat, and a little kitchen and a bathroom, but they have their own pods where they keep their stuff, and they sleep, and they watch, and they spend time alone, right? Well, this is my pod. And then out and about, I can do other things. I can go to the gym and things like that. But this is my home. And that's one of the reasons I love the amenities of a city. And I love the fact that I can upload my videos very quickly and very easily. And I still can go to parks and still be outside. So, but that is, I mentioned a bunch of reasons why I love city life. But I'll tell you, that uploading ordeal, oh my gosh, that is, that's a big one. And it makes it for a YouTube creator. Yeah, I remember being out in Quartzsite, and so frustrating. Even with StarLink, it kind of went slow. I heard, okay, I've heard that the people that have my kind that are just, they sits on the stand, it's not connected to your RVs. A lot of RVs have them now. They have them actually permanently connected up there. That they're getting better service. They get first. They get first coverage. And then what's left over, then I would have gotten. So yeah, it's a little, I think it's very pricey. Personally, I do. I think $150 is expensive for that. So, okay. So thank you for that question, June. Okay. This is from, Little Birdie Spring. Oh yeah. I love your questions. Hi, Lee. In a previous video, you mentioned you don't travel as much, but at one time you did travel a lot. Yeah, I just mentioned that. I was curious, what were your top 5 favorite places to go travel to? Or top 5 favorite travel places as a nomad that you travel to? Okay, well, let's answer that one. Well, here's the deal with me. Even though I say I did travel a lot, right? Well, that doesn't mean that I was constantly on the go and I wanted to go see this national park and I wanted to go to Yellowstone and I wanted to go here. When I drove somewhere, I went to stay for a little while, at least a couple months. So I guess my favorite places to go was, I spent a lot of time in Cincinnati. I love that city. Oh my gosh. That is one cool city. Back east. I was born and raised in northern Ohio. Well, I don't remember if we went on vacation, we always went to Pennsylvania or we went to Indiana, right? Both sides, right? Well, because we had relatives there. But I never went to Cincinnati until my daughter moved there. And wow, that city is one cool city. They actually call it the first original American city. Isn't that cool? And here's why. Because if a lot of people were coming to New York, or were coming to Louisiana, right? New Orleans, because it was, coastal. And so a lot of foreigners were coming from different countries. But once they discovered, and once they started moving through the Ohio River, barges, and trading, a lot of people started coming to Cincinnati. But when they came there, they were already full-blown generational Americans, right? American citizens. So Cincinnati is, like they say, the real first genuine American city. Okay. It's a combination of the old and the new. There are different enclaves of Cincinnati, and I'll tell you, it's fascinating. Their park system is phenomenal. Yeah. So Cincinnati, I say I love it. Yeah, and the Ohio River, and right across there is Kentucky, and they got bridges that go right across. Okay, so the next one would be, I would say, Reno, Nevada. I loved Reno. I really did. Let me get comfortable. I'm sitting on my knees. You know why I think I love Reno? Well, the people are very friendly. Oh my gosh. Thinking about it, oh my God, I think Reno might have been, that I visited, one of the, if not the friendliest city that I found. Here comes another train. Yes, I love Reno. Love Reno. Well, they have a great park system. Yeah, don't be afraid to go to Reno. They have a really good park system. And one of the parks, Idlewild Park, I parked in almost all summer. And I would stay there all week. And then I figured, okay, I'm running out of food. I better go wash my van. And I would do what I would do. Somebody would save my place, Red. I tried to call him, and he's got a new phone number. I may never connect up with him again. Yeah, good old Red. But no, he'd save my place, and I would come back, and then he would go, and I'd save his place. We put a couple cones out. We the whole summer. And that's where I learned to slackline, if you remember that. Oh my gosh, slacklining. And no, I loved Reno. Okay, where else? Oh, well, Santa Cruz. I spent a lot of time in Santa Cruz. Off and on, I would go back and forth from San Jose to Santa Cruz. And you think, San Jose, that's a big... I was on the outskirts. I always go on the outskirts. I don't... Another one, too, is San Francisco. People say, you spent time in San Francisco. I was on the outskirts of San Francisco. I didn't go inside the city. I didn't... With the reports of all the homeless... I didn't want to leave my minivan. I live in here. I have everything in there. So I never really ventured into the city. But I'll tell you, I knew some outskirts of the parks and near the Golden Gate Bridge. There are some great, and the pier, oh my gosh. Yeah, I spent a lot of time in San Francisco. Not a lot, but yeah, I did. It was memorable. You say, well, what were your favorite? Those were memorable places that I went to. I guess another one would be Quartzsite. I mean, hello. You know, I gained a lot of my friends in Quartzsite. Yeah, my first friend ever that I met as a nomad is Max Dollarite. And, yeah, we're still really good friends. And can't wait to see him. I think in July I'll see him again. Yeah, I can't wait to see him. Yeah. If you're gonna thinking about being a nomad, if you're gonna get a van, I think it's a good idea at least once to go to Quartzsite in the winter. Yeah, Quartzsite, and I did spend a few weeks in St. Louis. Now you think St. Louis, that's crime-ridden. Well, again, I found a little outskirt place, a little like a little enclave of St. Louis, and I hung out there. And I enjoyed it. Oh my gosh, got to know some of the restaurants, went restauranting. And no, I did enjoy, it was sort of a respite from traveling across the country. And I just stayed there. In fact, when I went across to go see my daughter, I had to go register this minivan. I had to register it after I bought it in Tucson. And, voice a little cracky. And went there, and I did stay in St. Louis for a couple days. I had to wait. I did. I kind of had to wait. I think there was a lot of storms going on. So then when I came back, I spent time in St. Louis again. I think a good couple of weeks. I mean, what was my hurry, right? Let's see, what else? So as far as like places I really enjoyed, those are probably it. Okay, Lake Havasu too in Arizona. Anything in Arizona is fun. Okay, what I didn't like? Oh, well, number one would be El Paso. I had trouble in El Paso. I got pulled over by a border patrol, and I literally thought I was going to lose everything. He was. I wasn't real bright. I was answering way too many questions, and he was young and gung ho. And I really felt I was going to lose my van, and I would probably end up in jail for some reason. I wasn't sure. I thought he was planting drugs inside of my van. He just, I gave him permission. I shouldn't have done it. I'll never do that again. Oh my gosh, I was naive. That's the first time I've ever been picked up. I mean, I guess I've gotten a citation for, what did I think when I was like in my 20s, I got a citation for speeding or something. But yeah, I thought he was planting drugs, and he kept me way too long. I heard 30 minutes and they got to at least arrest you or detain you or something. He kept me for a good almost an hour. It was very unprecedented. And he said that he was just going to give me a warning. And he said that I'd cut somebody out, but I know I didn't. He was playing games with us for, I don't even go into it. It was horrible. It was horrible, I tell you. I did not cut anybody off. He just looked for an easy target because he was gung-ho. He was gung-ho, man. And, but I didn't think it was over. Why would I think that was over when he left? When I was a nervous wreck driving out of Texas, because if he planted something in my van, all he has to do is say she's coming down the highway, and then they would have stopped me, and then I would have went to jail. Yeah, it could be a game. Yeah, they play games. So I never want to ever pass through El Paso. If I have to go somewhere on the lower part, I'll go around. I will. I'll go completely around. I will never go through El Paso ever again. What else was kind of weird? I didn't really like Cheyenne, Wyoming. The reason I do like it is because I was visiting my friend, Glenna and Teresa. So yeah, I mean, I was there to visit them, but to stay there, no. It didn't seem very friendly. They were friendly, but they didn't seem very friendly. Yeah. Let's see. Where else? Oh, Salt Lake City. That had a weird vibe to it. I'm telling you, man. That had a very weird vibe to it. So I guess that would be it. I hope you enjoyed this. Oh my gosh, yeah. I thought, well, tomorrow I think I'll answer some more questions. I'm talking to you. Yeah, you. If you have any questions for me and you would like to me to answer them, you know where to go in comments. I'm speaking to you here, but this is how you speak to me, okay? I want to hear from you, okay? Please comment, even if you comment 3 or 4 times. As the video's moving along, you can, and something comes to your mind, you can type something and send it. And then if I say something else, go, I want to ask her this, or I want to make a comment about it, send it. You can comment as much as you want on every video. I give you that permission. Okay? Okay. Yeah, cheers. Well, it doesn't, just because I'm not traveling now doesn't mean I'm never going to travel again. I'm taking a break. Well, one other thing too is that everything's so expensive now. I mean, this is my home. I've really cut back on putting miles onto my minivan because if I have to replace this, it's going to be very expensive. It really will. And the gas prices, right? Yeah. And driving's pretty crazy out there too. The more nomads, here's my thinking, and not to worry anybody, okay? Not to be negative, but it seems to me that the more you're traveling on the road all the time, the higher your percentage chances go higher and higher that something's going to come and smack into you on the highway, and a breakdown, trouble in paradise. You know what I mean? So I'm taking a break. Who knows what? I don't know what next year is going to bring, but I do know if the world is still moving along, next winter I will be in Quartzsite. Oh yeah. I'm going to Quartzsite this winter. I missed it last year. I kind of did, but okay. I think that's it. Oh my gosh. Please subscribe. Thank you. Please and thank you. And if you don't have to, if you find in your heart you want to support me with just even a little bit of a gift, $5, $10, go to minivanlee.com, click on gifts. It's a little button. It's totally easy and totally secure, just like ordering from Amazon or something like that. And uses the same system. And I really appreciate it. And of course, I got the book, How to Live in a Minivan, The Minivan Leeway, on Amazon. Okay? Good things are coming your way. Expect it. Look for good outcomes. And I'll see you tomorrow with something else, right? I love you. Bye.